Hello, my friends. Hello, Shell. It's June.
It is June.
That happened
Okay,
fast, didn't it?
it did. That was the fastest I've ever seen. Yes.
So we're all
Just
about
yesterday it was
AJOS this
May.
month, right?
ATCs, all kinds of ATCs. ATCs every single day this month. We also have our monthly challenge and our mood board that you can incorporate with your ATCs, which is what we're going to do today. Um, we've done this ATC challenge, an ATC a day, for the last couple Junes, at least two, maybe more. And it's super easy to do an ATC because they're tiny, right? They are 2.5 by 3.5 inches, which is the same size as a baseball card or a playing card. So you could use, if you have some old baseball cards or playing cards you want to use, you could use those, or you could cut your paper. And what we're doing, in addition to making ATCs every day, is we've got this whole theme for the month of different types of textures of substrates you can work on. So we've got this whole list. You don't have to go in order. You can go in order if you want to, if that makes you happy. You can start with watercolor, go to embossed. And I threw some things out here on my desk to give you an idea of what we're talking about with texture. You know, a watercolor paper has a little bit of texture to it on one side. It's smoother on the other side. We've also got on here things like embossed card. So this is a piece of embossed paper. That means it's got a texture to it that's been pressed into it with, something is pressed to the paper. Canvas, you could use an actual piece of canvas or some type of canvas texture. It's so hard. These things don't focus. Come on,
Yeah,
focus.
white doesn't do real well.
Yeah. But this type of paper has a canvas texture. I've actually got a couple different ones. I think I had a sampler pack of paper, and I've got all different types of pressed in surfaces here, but I don't think that you can see them. I wanted you to see them. I personally also have all kinds of other pieces that have been started and never finished. So like these two, I can tell are from a master board where you make a large piece and then you cut it down into small pieces. You could start with something like that. But yeah, all kinds of options here. And all you have to do is just cut it down into 2.5 by 3.5, right?
Right.
Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter if it's a piece of cardboard from a cereal box or an index card or whatever. Some of these might be thin, like book text paper and music paper's thin, so you might want to put them onto another more firm piece, right? Like if you cut up your cereal box, you could collage the music paper, the napkin, all those, even like the denim and burlap could be collaged or stuck onto a thicker, heavier piece of inexpensive stock.
So it doesn't mean that your whole ATC has to be book text paper. It just means that you can add that book text paper to whatever surface you're using.
Yes. Or you can add it. You can make your first layer that, and then build off of that. But some of these are so thin, like paper bag, newspaper. Those things are so thin they won't hold up. But if you glue them down to something heavier, like a piece of watercolor paper or a piece of tagboard or whatever, then you'll get, a heavier surface. Was all I was trying to say. I don't know if that made sense. So let's go.
So here's a bunch of ATCs that I've done in the past. And it's kind of fun to store these little books that have ATCs in them. These are just like little business card books that you can get. I also have these trays with ATCs. These are boxes that you can get on Amazon. They hold 100 2.5 by 3.5 cards. And you can see that I've got all kinds of ideas and inspiration here from the past loaded up in here. Here's one. I always love this one because it has a picture of my granddaughter on it. That's my granddaughter when she was an infant. She is now in her 20s. So You can see how old that picture is, but it made a cute ATC, right?
Definitely.
So, use your imagination. This one is a background and it's on some of that. Remember when Shannon Green was selling the vinyl from boards from,
Probably still does, doesn't she?
I don't think she does,
Oh, okay.
but this is some of her vinyl, and it's got appropriate colors for today's challenge, because today our challenge for June, our monthly challenge, which is what we're working on first, is of course an ATC, because we're doing ATCs all month, but it says apply a transparent or translucent layer. And I could pick, because you can move around on here, I could pick any of these surfaces, but I am going to start with the first one, which is the watercolor paper. So I'm just going to check that off on my list.
I was showing you guys, this is how I store a lot of mine. These are baseball card sleeves that fit in a 3-ring binder, and they're just a little pocket, and you just tuck the ATCs in. I also did want to talk about one other thing. If you are going to trade ATCs, which a lot of people do, there's lots of groups for that. We're not going to do it in our group. It's a lot of fuss to match everything up and make sure that people take care of their business. But ATCs generally have some sort of something on the back that says who made it, sometimes information about it. Sometimes people just write it. I just print my stuff 9 to a sheet on a piece of printer paper and cut them out. So you can do this in a word processing. Or a lot of people have a stamp that actually fits. I think Peg does have a stamp that fits the back of an ATC, and then you can write your name. And, I think maybe this is one of hers, and it might have been done with a stamp, actually. Artist trading card stamp, and then you can write in the stuff. So that's something that's included in ATCs as well, is to put something on the back.
Yeah, put your information on there, guys, because see, these are things that I've collected from other people, and their information tells me who this came from. And so this is a really cool, you probably want to check out our friend Messy Table Studio, Vicky. She made this cute little ATC keeper book that's got pockets to keep all of these ATCs in. This is Queen ATC from CKU from 2005. That's how long I've had this. And it's number 25 of her exchanges that she did for Creating Keepsakes University. So, you can have lots of these around and enjoy, have fun, play. So get inspired. So I'm going to cut my surface, my watercolor paper, which is what I'm using, to 3.5 by 2.5. Now you can cut it smaller if you're going to mount it on a 3.5 by 2.5. That's just the standard size. And
yes, and if you are swapping, if you do join a swap group, people are very, very particular about that. So make sure that it's the right size, 3.5 by 2.5.
Right.
Don't skimp it, because people will get yeah. This has happened to me. I'm aware of how they act. So our colors this time are Sedona and Marine, which are both colors of a Dina Wakley paint. It's basically a brilliant blue and a very terracotta type orangey brown. So I have the paints, but I'm not going to use them. I'm going to use watercolors instead in those similar colors, because I decided also to pick watercolor paper, and mine's already cut 3.5 by 2.5. So I'm just
cutting some watercolor. I had a piece that was just sitting over here on my desk, wrap off of something.
Yeah.
So I'm just cutting down a couple of backgrounds to use in this process.
Where the heck did well, I'm just going to use this kind of dirty one. So let's see what I can find that's Sedona and Marine. This color down here looks like it might be close.
So I do have the Dina Wakley colors, and I am going to use it, and I am going to water it down so that it's more transparent or translucent layer.
Yeah, could do that too. I just figured I would grab watercolor because, yeah, you can just find similar colors. Just so you know that you don't have to have the Dina Wakley ones. We picked Dina Wakley colors because we like their paint and we have it, and why not? Cool colors, like them. So that's definitely very marine. Now I just need to find something that's similar to this burnt sienna, or perhaps this autumn mystery, which is a diachrome. All right, that must be this one right here. Let's see what color that is. It's very metallic-y, which is kind of cool. And that's not that Sedona-y, but I just figured it would be fun to put a little bit of a watercolor background on my watercolor.
Sorry, I just had to step away for a minute. I'm back, and let's see, for my background, I've got the Sedona.
Trying to figure out. Here we go. All right.
Huh. This thing's clogging on me. I've never had that happen before. You ever had one of hers clog?
No. That is surprising.
Yeah, I got a clog. That's weird.
It is very strange.
Maybe it's the ball in the bottom got stuck or something.
Oh, maybe. That's a possibility because there is a stirring ball in there.
Yeah, might be. Well, anyway, whatever it was, I got it. No, see, it's right back. It must be in the wrong position in the bottom of the bottle or something. There we go. All right, I got a little Sedona, way more than I need now.
Yeah, for an ATC, probably.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to do marine, a dot of that. And I'm going to add to this mixture, I'm going to add some olive. I think that would be a nice combination. So I'm going to take my ATC, and I've got a tissue here that I think is kind of pretty. It's got some of that Sedona tone to it and a little bit of an olive color in there. So I think I want to use this on here. You know, you can always stick something else in the middle of the prompts. You don't have to go, you know, just step by step by step.
Yeah, with all of our challenges, you can add something in between. It doesn't have to just be the steps.
So I'm going to get some tape on here and separate out these layers.
I was thinking I might add. So the first thing is to cut your surface. The second thing is to apply a transparent or translucent layer. The third thing is to add a dimensional element. Now, what does that mean? That means you're going to stick something on there, right? It could be something that's actually dimensional, raised from the surface, or it could be a piece of collage or ephemera or something like that, I think I'm going to put a piece of,
Or it could just be texture, you
or
know.
it could just be texture. Yeah, it could just be putting something like stencil texture through a stencil, something like that.
Yeah.
Or just stenciling. Just means add something.
Yep.
Don't get too overthinking of it.
No. So as you can see, this is kind of translucent. You can see my hand through there. So this is a translucent element. Transparent. Translucent. And I'm just going to get some collage page medium.
I just wanted to add a piece of collage paper to it. It's got a little bit of light stenciling on it, and I'm just going to stick it down with glue, with a glue stick.
I obviously should have shaken that. Stuff sits around too long, it settles out, guys. Just saying.
And then pick a focal word or quote. I'm going to actually put something else on there first. I've got a rub-on, and I thought it would be kind of fun to put this rub-on on. Although it's a little bit big, but this is a type of rub-on that is on like paper. It's kind of an interesting, different take on a rub-on. Got these from Canvas Corp Brands before they went out of business. And I'm just using a bone folder to rub it down and get it attached to the surface. Hopefully it attaches really well. So it's kind of trying to curl up. So I'm having a little bit of trouble holding it down. This is something different, and I've had it in my drawer forever, and you know, if you don't use it, then what's the point?
Right.
So I figured today would be a good day.
Today is a good day. So I just put a piece of that down on my watercolor.
All right. Oh, I like that. That's cool.
I'm actually pulling some of
So
that
see,
back.
the black stuff transferred from the paper to the other paper. So this is what they look like. I'm not sure if you can still buy this, but it was called Architectures. And you got this folder and then this piece of brown paper that's got all kinds of rub-ons in it.
Actually, some of that stuff I've seen at places like Tuesday Morning.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's out there. I'm just saying. And if there's areas that didn't quite transfer, you can just fill it in with a pen. But I think it did a pretty good job transferring, surprisingly. Okay, so I also have a word, some words here. It says to pick a focal word or quote. I have one that says, "It's a beautiful crown," which is from Tim Holtz Clippings stickers. They're book quotes and things like that. You guys have probably seen this before somewhere.
Okay, so next is the dimensional element. Got some papers that I did last month. Where are they? Have some of the right tones in here. This is some, just, some stuff I scraped off on another piece of paper. And because this was modeling paste, it's got dimension and texture to it. So I can just take some of this and add some dimension. On my card here.
I've got a plan for that too, but before I do it, I'm just going to kind of paint in my image with some watercolor. Just to give her a little bit of, it says add shading.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm going to bring in.
Well, you're way ahead of me. I'm
kind of going back and forth because I want to add a dimensional element, as in like something that stands out, but I need to color the girl first.
I'm going to tear this down because, it's an ATC. I don't need something huge on here.
I'll add this yellow. On her. Ooh, barkity bark bark. There's some barking action going on there.
Okay. I gotta tell them all about it.
Yeah, I better shut the door. Then as soon as I shut the door to make her quieter, then she'll come up here and want to get back in.
It's like
how it goes.
I think I'm going to take a little bit of that. Make a little fine brush here. I'll take a little bit of that and add it into my flower arrangement so that it's got the colors that we're looking for here.
I get a little bit of acrylic out here. Just a tiny bit because I'm having a little trouble. I wanted to add a little bit of color to her face, but have some issues here.
That's the marine. Need my cloth to clean my brush here. Get that marine out of it. So I want to go into the Sedona now. I want to add more of that Sedona tone in here. And we'll grab a little bit of that olive because I like it.
You like it.
I like the olive. I think it adds a little something.
Yeah, I always like to do that too. Add a third color to the color choices that we picked. Something that goes with it. Today I seem to be mostly sticking to the colors, but I did add a little bit of this red color.
No, it's not much. It's just a hint. I'm going to take just a touch of so I did my I gotta keep track of where I am on this whole challenge thing here.
Yeah.
You know, I get distracted. Okay, so I cut my surface, got that done. Number 1, applied a transparent or translucent layer. Number 2, add a dimensional element. Number 3, did that. Pick a focal word or quote. Okay, so I need some kind of word or quote on here. So let me go to my words boxes. I think these are mostly quote things. Probably not the right box to look through. I have lots of this kind of stuff. No, that's not what I'm looking for. How about some of these tissue paper ones?
Sounds good.
I've got a whole thing here. Here's a good one. This goes along with what we're doing here. So it says, if you don't like where you're planted, uproot and move.
Yep.
And since I'm doing florals, the whole uproot and move thing would work quite well on here. I just don't know how well that's going to work over the dimensional stuff. So I think we'll have to go kind of right in there with that. So let me go back to my medium and put a coat of Collage Podge on that tissue so that I can get that added. Oh dear. I have to move that if. Didn't quite fit.
See what I tell you. Now she's back scratching on the door.
Yeah.
Brat.
Okay, so
Okay, you can come in. Brad?
I'm trying to gently put a layer over the top of that. Get it really sealed in. Okay, so that was my focal word. Shading and treat the edge is what I got left.
Nice, like a good color.
Let's dry this.
Need some sort of a good, strong blue. Make something shiny on her green here. Oh.
I'm just going to come back for my shading and add a little bit of deepening. Some tones in here.
Make that blue.
Blend this out a bit. That's that marine blue again. For the shade. For the shade. Get a little bit of marine blue. Around the edge here, where the natural lighting would fall underneath the flower. I need a little something water to dip my brush in here. There we go.
There's my something dimensional, some sequin. What do you think she needs? A little bit more color on her cheek. I just don't know what color. Maybe I'll just stick with watercolor. So it dries quickly.
And treat the edge. What color do I want? I think I'll use that blue on the edge.
I think I'm just going to use a really dark color on the edge. Oops.
That marine blue is pretty dark. I think what I will use to apply that with is just a small. Here, I've got a small sponge dauber.
I just go in there directly with the ink pad. I do this a lot.
I'm going to use this paint because it's right here.
Good plan. I just decided to use gray.
So I'm just going to take that sponge dauber and use up some of that paint that's on my desk, on my palette.
Yeah, good plan. Maybe I want to just lighten up. I've got some white. I might just try to lighten up down here just because it looks like she has some type of a shirt or something on. You know? Just seems like there should be a break of color right there somehow.
I think that's pretty good. I might do a few splatters. What color do I want to splatter? Well, let's start with this Sedona since I have so much of it.
Well, that's a good plan.
Let me splatter a little Sedona. Need a different brush though. Actually, I could do it with this, I think. This is one of those texture brushes. Have you guys seen these texture brushes? Got a little bit too much in one spot. Spread it around. Pick it up. Yeah. So it just adds little teeny tiny splatter. And let's do it with the green too, because I like that. Sorry, my husband's going out the door. Because he has to test the wind today. It's very windy here. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I need to do the back of the card. Drop that in the water. And yes, I do have a stamp. Where did I put it? Oh, you know what? No, I don't want to do that. I was thinking about doing something else, but there's such small little surfaces. You don't want to overfill, you know?
Yeah.
That's one of the issues. Okay, so here it is. This is my artist trading card stamp from whenever. Matt's Life Press, and it was probably like 2000 or something like that. Really old stamp. I don't even know if they're in business. So let me test this on the back of another ATC first. See if it's still stamping nicely.
just the tiniest bit of copper.
And it is on there squarely, so I need to pay attention. So, and the back of this has some splatter. So I'm thinking I might glue this onto the back and make it look pretty and nice. So let me do this one more time. Get it inked up, nice and wet. You can tell by the gloss that's on your stamp if it's nice and wet. And then I'm going to take this, I'm going to try to center it as best I can on there, and then just press. Make sure I get everything. Yes. And there I have a nice stamped image. So I can glue that to the back. Of my other card and make it nice and thick and sturdy.
I'm going to glue this thing onto the back of it, but I'm not going to do it until it's dry. I'm not going to dry it anymore because it's melting the sequins.
Oh, yeah. Melted sequins are not a good thing.
Yeah, I definitely melted that blue one.
So I like to, you know, when I'm putting something like this together, I like to use those small clips from the dollar store to hold it together and make sure it stays centered on the backer card.
Good plan.
So I'll just take some clips and clip the corners together. Like so. I should have one more. Like that. And then I can add my information on the back side. And this is for, I don't want to use that pen. It's definitely too big. This is the AJOS monthly challenge. And this is for the month of June. $20.22 monthly challenge by me. Contacted Art Joyous Sharing and Peg A. Robinson.com. And today's date and the number, this is number 1.
Number 1.
And that is the first ATC challenge of the month.
And many more to come. That looks a little bit better.
I hope you guys play along. You know, these are not big projects. These are just small projects. And, you know, if you don't do one a day, do, you know, on the weekend, do 4 or 5 on the weekend. That's cool, Shell. Looks good. So there we have them.
All right.
Thanks, guys. And we'll be looking for your posts on Instagram, in the Facebook group. Use hashtag AJOS surfaces in art and hashtag AJOS ATC a day 2022.
2022. Yep.
Bye, guys.